In the heart of Lagos City, where the street never slept and none light blinked like a restless eyes, there lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was beautiful in a way that make men forget their wives, girlfriends, and even their own names. Every curve of her body seems like it was crafted by the gods. Her eyes glittered like fresh honey under the city lights, and her smile could stop traffic in the middle of rush hour. But what nobody knew was that Amara's beauty came with a heavy, dangerous price. Amara used to be an ordinary girl, selling hair extension at Yaba Market, living with her cousin in a small one-room apartment. Her best friend, Ugochi, was always by her side. They laughed together, hustled together, and planned their future, like every other young woman in the city. But jealousy is a wicked thing. And Ugochi's heart grew dark with envy when she noticed that every man who came to their shop looked past her and fixed their hungry eyes on Amara. One rainy night, Ugochi followed Amara to a street party at Lekki Phase 1. The music was loud, the drinks flowed like water, and men swarmed around Amara as if she carried a magnet in her bones. Ugochi, burning with hatred, left the party early and went to an old woman who lived in an abandoned house behind the market. The woman was known as Mama Ekene, and people whisper that she dealt with spirits and did work for those who could pay the price. "I want her life to be destroyed," Ugochi hissed, handing over a bundle of naira notes. "I want her to become something no man could satisfy. Let them all run from her." Mama Ekene's eye grew in dark, and she agreed to the deal. That night, she called on an evil spirit named Onyoma, known in ancient for consuming souls through rust. Exactly 3 a.m., the spirit entered Amara's room through window, like a shadow, and slipping into body while she slept. From that moment, Amara's life changed forever. She woke up the next morning feeling hot, restless, and unusual. Men she never noticed before suddenly appear at her door, begging for a chance with her. At first, it seems like a blessing. Amara enjoyed the attention, the gifts, the night filled with desire, but soon things took a sinister turn. No man could satisfy her. Each one who spent the night with her left in the morning looking pale, horror-eyed, and weak. Some lost their job, others their minds. Rumors began to spread. They say Amara's bed was cursed. Some men claimed they saw a shadow finger with a red eyes standing by the window while they lay with her. Others say they heard whispers in the dark, voices chanting in an unknown language. But still, more men came. Taxi drivers, bankers, politicians, married men, pastors, market boys, they all could not resist her. They would fight, beg, even pay anything to have a night with Amara. And after each man, Amara would feel emptier, lonelier, and hunger for the next. No matter how many men she had, the taste never went away. Her eyes lost their light. Her skin, through frameless, began to feel cold at night. She heard voices calling her name, urging her to take more men, promising her relief that never came. She tried to stop. She locked herself indoors, avoid parties, delete contacts, but the spirit inside her would not let her rest. It wasn't long before the city began to notice. Men disappeared. Some were found wandering the street naked. Others sat in the gutter mumbling Amara's name. Their family called pastors, native doctors, prophets, but nothing worked, and Amara's hunger only grew. Then one evening, a stranger arrived in Lagos, a tall man with a dark piercing eyes and a scale across his cheek. His name was Obinna. He was known in the village for hunting evil spirits that possessed women. He had heard of girl in Lagos and came to find her. But what Obinna did not know that Onyoma had grown stronger inside Amara than any spirit had faced before. That night, under a heavy rain, Obinna stood outside Amara's apartment, holding a chain made of 7 different melters and a charm soaked in the blood of black goat. He knocked on the door. Amara, naked and pale as wick, opened the door, her eyes glowing like a dying embers. "Who are you?" she whispered. Obinna smiled coldly. "The man you won't consume." And that was the beginning of a new Dila chapter. Amara's lips curled into a strange twisting smile, a smile that no longer belonged to a human being. The spirit inside her recognized Obinna, for his name was known in the underworld where evil spirits whisper and plotted. And Nyoma, the spirit of endless desire, had faced men like Obinna before, but this time it was different. Without a word, Amara stepped aside, allowing Obinna into the small diamond light room. The curtains were drawn, and the only light came from a flickering candle on a wooden stool. The air was thick with the scent of burning incense and something else, something rotten like a decayed flowers. "You shouldn't have come here," Amara whispered, her voice echoing as 2 voices spoke at once. One has, the other deep, ancient, and otherworldly. Obinna tightened his grip on the chain and stepped closer. "You have taken enough, men, spirit. Tonight it's end." But Onyoma laughed through Amara, a long bone, chilling laugh that made the candle frame tremble. In a sudden motion, the door slammed shut on its own. The air grew heavy, shadows in the room began to shift, and unseen presence filled every corner. From the wall came voices, the voices of men she had consumed. "Amara, save us! Amara, free us!" Obinna drew a small gallon from his bag and poured its contents, dark, thick, and smelling of herbs and blood, onto the ground, forming a circle around himself. Amara's body began to twist, her eyes rolled back, and her lips moved in an unnatural way, like a puppet of invisible string. The spirit forced to hold onto her, knowing Obinna was trying to cast it out. Obinna began chanting, "Onyoma, spirit of hunger, your time is done. Leave this woman and return to the dark from where you came." But Onyoma was no ordinary spirit with a strength that cracked the wall. Amara's body lunged at Obinna. The charm he had burnt brightly, but the force of her touch sent him crashing onto the wall. Blood streamed from the corner of his mouth, yet he smiled. "You are strong, demon, but so I am." He reached for a second chain, one forged in a shrine far in the east, where spirits feared to tread. Wrapping it around his hand, he charged at Amara. The struggle was too aggressive. Amara's strength was not her own. She clawed at Obinna, throwing him against the ceiling. Hissing word from ancient tongue. Shadow in the room danced wildly, the voices of a trembled man screaming louder, but Obinna would not give up. He caught her by the throat, pinning her to the ground within the circle. The spirit shouted in agony, trying to escape Amara's body. Her face shifted between her own and that of a monster figure with empty horror eyes. Outside, the wind blew. Inside, Obinna poured the last of the sacred liquid onto Amara's head, forcing the spirit to relieve its true self. And then silence. For a moment, it seems like it was over. Amara's body lay still, her chest rising and falling rapidly, her skin soaked with sweat. Obinna knelt beside her, exhausted but relieved. He had done it, so he thought. A cold hand gripped his ribs. Amara's eyes snapped open, but this time they were not red or crowded. They were clear, human. Tears streamed down her face. "Obinna, help me," she whispered, her voice weak and broken. Before he could answer, a dark mist burst from the mouth, spouting towards the ceiling. The spirit flamed, but it did not leave. It clouded to the corner of the room, waiting for Obinna to drop his guard. Obinna cursed under his breath. He wasn't strong enough to banish it completely tonight. The spirit was too powerful, Too hungry, it could return. You are safe for now, he murmured, lifting Amara into his arm. But as he carried Amara out from the apartment, neither of them noticed the mist slipping into the crack of the mirror hanging on the wall. And in the reflection, Onyoma grilled. The city was not done with Amara yet. The hunger would return. And Obinna, he knew he would have to fight again. But this time is a story of another night. Obinna carried Amara out of the dark room into the night. The rain had stopped, but the streets were wet and shining. Cars passed and people minded their business, not knowing what has just happened inside the house. Amara was weak. Her head rested on Obinna's chest and her body felt cold. She opened her eyes slowly. Where are you taking me? She asked in a low and tired voice. I am taking you somewhere safe, Obinna replied. He placed her in his old car, started the engine and drove away from the area. Amara closed her eyes again, so tired to speak. Obinna looked at her and felt sorry. She was a victim caught in something she did not ask for. But inside the apartment they left, something terrible happened. The dark mist that came out of Amara did not leave completely. It hid inside the mirror on the wall, and as Obinna drove away, the mirror cracked a little, and a face appeared in it. The spirit was smiling. I will follow you. I will follow you. You go nowhere, the spirit whispered. That night, Obinna took Amara to a small guest house at the edge of the town. He cleaned her up, gave her food, and made her rest. She slept deeply like a baby for the first time in a long while. Her face looked calm and peaceful, but in the middle of the night, something strange happened. The mirror in the guest room began to shake. Without warning, the dark mist from earlier appeared inside it. The spirit had followed her. Amara opened her eyes. Suddenly, she sat up in the bed. Sweat covered her face. She felt it. That same hot feeling, that same hunger, that same strange desire rising inside her again. No, not again, she whispered. She jumped out of bed and ran into the bathing room. Trying to calm herself, she looked in the mirror, and that was when she saw it, a shadow standing behind her in the glass. She turned quickly. Nobody was there. Her heart pounded. The voice came again. You can't escape from me. Amara, more men, bring them to me. Tears filled Amara's eyes. She did not want this anymore. She wanted a normal life. She wanted to be free, but the spirit did not care. By morning, Obinna woke up to find Amara missing. The room door was wide open. He rushed outside and asked the gate man, where is the lady that was with me? The gate man pointed down the street. She left early this morning. She looked strange, sir. Obinna knew the spirit has taken control again. He jumped into his car and drove through the street. Looking for her, he checked clubs, hotels, and places where men hang out. Finally, he saw a crowd gather outside a roadside bar. He stopped his car and rushed to see what was happening. There, in the middle of the crowd, was Amara, dressed in a red-hot gown, dancing wildly, while men surrounded her, shouting and fighting to touch her. Obinna's heart broken. He pushed through the crowd. Amara stopped this, but she did not hear him. One of the men collapsed suddenly. His face paled, his eye wide open. People screamed and ran. Another man tried to hold Amara, but he fell to the ground, shaking. The spirit inside Amara was draining them. Obinna knew it. If he did not act fast, more men will fall. He reached into his pockets and grabbed the spiritual charm the old priest gave him before leaving the village. He rushed towards Amara, shouting her name. Amara, it's me, Obinna. Look at me. For a second, Amara stopped. Her eyes melted. The evil spirit inside her growled, but the real Amara fought back. Help me, please, she cried out. Obinna wasted no time. He threw the charm around her neck, and instantly a white light flashed around her. The spirit screamed. The crowd scattered. Amara fell to the ground unconsciously. Obinna picked her up again and whispered, I will save you, I promise. But deep down, he knew he wasn't over. The spirit was strong. It wasn't living without a fight. And somewhere nearby, hidden in the shadow. The spirit whispered again, "I will be back. I will always come back." Obinna did not waste time. He carried Amara into his car once again. This time, he did not drive to any hotel or guest house. He knew the only way to save her was to take her far away from the city, to a native daughter powerful enough to fight this kind of spirit. He headed to a small village called Umochi, 3 hours away from Lagos. As he drove through the lonely road, Amara woke up slowly. She was weak, her face pale, her lips dry. "Where are you going?" she asked in a soft, scared voice. "To someone who can help you," Obinna replied. Tears rolled down Amara's cheek. Obinna did not want this life. "I swear, I don't know how this happened." "I know," Obinna said. "Your friend Ugochi did this to you out of jealousy, and I promise you, Amara, you will break it." Amara sniffed and held his hand tightly as they drove deeper into the bush path that led to Umochi. But what they did not know was that the evil spirit Oyoma was not far. It was floated beside their car in the form of a black mist, unseen by human eyes, and inside Obinna's car, the air grew colder. Obinna noticed his dashboard light flickering. The car jacked a little. Amara sat up. "Obinna, something is here." Before he could answer, the car's engine died. The road was dark, the tree tall and thick. No other car passed by. It was just them and the evil that followed them. Obinna stepped out, checking the engine, but nothing made sense. Everything looked fine. Then Amara screamed. Obinna turned quickly. A thick shadow had formed before the car, shaped like a man but with no face. Its eyes were two red dots, and its mouth opened wide, showing sharp, endless teeth. "Give her to me," the spirit voice boomed. Obinna grabbed his charm, shouting, "You will not have her tonight." But the spirit laughed, and suddenly it changed towards Amara. Obinna ran to block it, holding up the charm. The light from it pushed the spirit back for a moment, but it was too strong. Amara fell on the ground, shaking. Her body started to lift on its own. "Obinna, help me." Obinna knew what to do. He pulled a small bottle of concentrated palm oil from his bag and quickly poured it in a circle around Amara. The spirit screamed as it tried to enter the circle but could not. "Leave now, Onyoma," Obinna shouted. The spirit hissed like a snake. "You are buying time, boy. You can't protect her forever." And with a loud anger cry, the spirit disappeared into the night, leaving behind a foul-rotten smell. Obinna wasted no more time. He started the car. This time, it came to life. They drove fast through the lonely road until they finally reached Umochi by dawn. The village was quiet, with small mud houses and tall trees. Obinna drove through to the compound of an old native doctor called Dibia Okoro, a man known for chasing away wicked spirits. The old man was already waiting for them at the shrine, as if he knew they were coming. "You have brought her," the old native doctor said, looking at Amara with a sad, knowing eyes. "Onyoma is not a spirit you fight with an ordinary charms. This one is ancient. Can you help her?" Obinna asked quietly. "I can try, but it will not be easy. And you, young man, you must be ready, because if you fail, the spirit will kill you first." Obinna nodded. "I am ready. Do whatever it takes." The native doctor told them to rest a little. By nightfall, the cleansing will begin. But what none of them knew was that Onyoma had already sent a warning. Back in Lagos, Ugochi, the wicked friend who started it up, woke up in her apartment and found a black hand print on her wall. Her eyes widened in fear, because Onyoma was angry, and now it wanted more than Amara. It wanted Ugochi too. That evening, the sky turned dark very fast. Thick cloud covered the moon, and the wind howled through the trees in Umochi. Inside the shrine, Dibia Okoro was getting ready. He placed 4 burning lamps at the 4 corners of the room. The air sealed of herb, palm oil, and something bitter. Obinna sat beside Amara, holding her hand. She was scared, her body shook from time to time, and sweat covered her face. Obinna, will this work? She asked, her voice weak. It has to, he said. I am not leaving you like this. The native doctor came forward. He tied a red cloth around Amara's head and gave Obinna a small calabash to hold. Listen carefully, the old man said. When the spirit shows itself, no matter what it says or does, don't leave this circle. If you step out, it will grab you and you both will be gone. Obinna nodded. The native doctor started the ritual. He poured hot ash on the floor, placed a white egg in the middle of the room, and began to chant. The fire from the lamps rose higher. Then, without warning, Amara screamed. Her body lifted off the ground, her eyes turning white. She spoke, but it wasn't her voice. It was deep and angry. Leave me alone, old man. She belongs to me. Obinna's heart pounded, but he stayed still. The native doctor shouted louder. He threw a white chalk dust into the air, and suddenly the room shook. A dark figure appeared behind Amara, the same face shadow with two red eyes and sharp teeth. Obinna called it out. Come to me, I will make you rich. I will give you anything you want. I will give you power. Obinna clenched his teeth and shook his head. You can't fool me, demon. The spirit laughed. It's over, shaking the wall. The native doctor kept chanting, and the egg in the middle of the room cracked open. A thick black liquid poured out. That was when something strange happened. Back in Lagos, Ugochi was in her room, pacing around. She felt uneasy. She kept hearing whisper, and her mirror frowned up. And when she looked into it, she saw Onyoma's face staring at her. She screamed, but it was too late. The spirit left Amara and entered Ugochi through the mirror. In Mwachi, Amara fell to the ground, her body still, her face peaceful. The room went silent. The native doctor sighed. It's done. Obinna rushed to her side. Amara, Amara, can you hear me? She opened her eyes and smiled weakly. Obinna, it's gone. I feel light. Obinna helped her up, tears in her eyes. Thank God, but the native doctor wasn't smiling. Obinna noticed. What is wrong? The spirit has left her, the old man said, but it has found a new home. It went back to the one who sent it first. Ugochi, Obinna whispered. The native doctor nodded. It was deal with her now. Back in Lagos, Ugochi rolled on the floor, her eyes red, her body burning with the same candle hunger Amara once felt. She grabbed her phone and started calling random men, begging them to come over. But no matter how many came, none could satisfy her. One by one, they ran from the room, scared and confused. Within 2 weeks, Ugochi's house was filled with strange sound. Neighbors complained. Some said they heard a man screaming at midnight. Others swore that they saw a black shadow standing by her window. By the third night, nobody saw Ugochi again. She disappeared. Some said the spirit took her deep into this forest. Others said she went mad and was roaming the streets. But Amara and Obinna did not care. They were free, so they thought. Because one evening, as they sat in a small cafe in town, laughing and drinking cold malt, a stranger passed by their table. The man was dressed in black, and as he passed, he dropped a small note on their table without stopping. Obinna picked it up. It was a small paper with just 5 words on it. I will be back for you. No name, no number. Obinna's hand trembled. Amara looked at him. What is it? He fought a smile. Nothing, it's nothing. But deep down, he knew it wasn't over. That night, Obinna could not sleep. He tossed and turned in his small one-room apartment, his mind thinking about the note. I will be back for you. Who dropped it? How did he know where they was? Amara was already fast asleep beside him. Breathing softly, she looked peaceful for the first time in a long while. But Obinna's heart was heavy. At exactly 2 o'clock a.m., the lights in their room blinked. The fan slowly down, then stopped. The air turned cold. Obinna sat up quickly. Then he heard a knock on the door. Come, 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 slowly and heavy. He grabbed a torchlight and tiptoed to the door. Who is there? He asked, his voice shaking a little. No answer. He opened the door slowly. Nothing. The passage was empty. But just as he was about to close the door, he noticed a dark stain on the floor, like a thick oil leading down the corridor. His heart raced. Suddenly from behind, Amara screamed. Obinna dropped the torchlight and ran inside. Amara was sitting on the bed, pointing at the mirror. Obinna, look at the mirror. Obinna turned. Inside the mirror, the face of Onyoma was there again, smiling, showing long, sharp teeth. I told you, you can't run away from me, it whispered. Obinna quickly covered the mirror with a cloth, but deep down he knew the spirit was back. The next morning, he took Amara straight to the Bia Okoro again. The native doctor shook his head. This spirit is stubborn. It's not just an any spirit. It's a history with your family, Amara. Amara's eyes widened. What do you mean? The old man went inside his hut and came out with an old dusty book. He flipped through the pages until he found a name. Onyoma. He read aloud. Years ago, your great-grandmother made a deal with this spirit for wealth and beauty, but she failed to pay her debt before she died, and the spirit has chased her bloodline since then. Amara's leg felt weak. She sat on the floor. Why did she not tell anyone? That's how family secrets work, the native doctor said sadly. Now you must go and finish what your grandmother started, or this spirit will follow you and your children forever. Obinna swallowed hard. What do we do now? The native doctor sighed. You must go to your family's house, dig up the charm your grandmother buried and destroy it. That's the only way. Amara's face went pale. What? I have never even been to my grandmother's house. The old man pointed. It's in Mmudu village and you must go tonight before the spirit gets stronger. Obinna held Amara's hand. We will go together. And as the sun set down that evening, they packed a small bag, get into Obinna's car and headed to Mmudu village, not knowing what awaits them there. But high above the trees, the dark shadow of Onyoma followed, watching, smiling. By 9:30 p.m., Obinna's car reached Mmudu village. The village was quiet. Too quiet, no people on the street, no light in the houses, only the sound of night incense and the soft haunt of owl. Amara sat in the car, shaking. This place, it feels wrong. Obinna tries to be brave. We will be quick. Just show me where the house is. Amara pointed ahead. That place, the one with the broken roof. Obinna parked under a mango tree. They both spectated out, holding small torchlights. The house looked like it has not been touched in over 30 years. The walls were cracked and the doors weak. A big terminate mud stood by the entrance. They pushed through the door. The road inside was dusty and smelled of old clothes and forgotten things. This was her room, Amara whispered. They stepped in, their footsteps loud on the wooden floor. Obinna took a small shovel he brought and began to dig in the corner of the room where the native doctor told them. The ground was hard at first, dry, but soon the soil softened. Then, the shovel hit something. Amara's heart jumped. Obinna dropped it to his nail and dug with his arm. After a while, he pulled out a small black calabash tied with red and with white. Strange symbol covered it. The thing gave up a bad smell, like a rotten eggs and burnt clothes. This must be it, Obinna said. But the moment he lifted it up, the wind outside blew loudly. The lamp in the room shook, and a voice spoke from the darkness. Drop it or die. Amara screamed. She grabbed Obinna's arm. Let's go. But Onyoma was already there. Its tall shadow figure standing at the door, its red eyes glowing in the dark. You can't break the bond, girl. Your blood owns me. Obinna, his hand shaking, quickly poured the native doctor's special palm oil on the calabash. The calabash hissed like a snake, Amara shouted, "Obinna, break it now." Obinna lifted it up and smashed it against the floor. It burst open and the thick black smoke poured out. The spirit screamed, covering its ears. The ground shook. Obinna grabbed Amara and pulled her out of the house. The whole building caught fire. A strange blue flame with no smoke. The spirit's scream filled the night, louder than the wind, louder than everything. Then silence. The fire died down on its own. Only ash remained. Obinna and Amara stood there, breathing hard, their hearts pounding. Obinna turned to her. "It's over." Amara nodded, tears in her eyes. "Thank you." They held hands and slowly walked back to the car. But as they opened the car door, something fell from the sky, a small piece of paper. Obinna picked it up. It was the same handwriting again. "Not yet." He looked around. Nothing, just the empty night. They drove out of Amadu village in a silence, knowing deep down that some things never really go away. But for now, they were safe. 3 weeks later, Obinna and Amara were back in Lagos. Life started to feel normal again. Amara looked better. No more strange voices, no more craving, no more evil spirits. They both got job in a small company and even rented a neat one-room apartment at Sumurere. Every evening, they sat outside, ate roasted corn, and laughed about the old days. But something strange started happening again. It began with little things. At night, the light bulb in their room would blink 3 times at exactly 2 o'clock a.m. Then they heard soft knocking on the window, even though they live upstairs. At first, Obinna told herself it was the wind. But then one evening, while Amara was cooking, she heard someone call her name from the bedroom. "Amara." She opened the bedroom door. Nothing. But written on the mirror with water was, "I am still here." Amara screamed and called Obinna. He came running. When he saw it, his face went pale. "This thing does not want to leave us alone," he whispered. They called Dipia Okoro on the phone. The old man sighed deeply. "I told you, spirit like Onyema does not die easily. You destroyed the bond, yes, but the spirit now is free, roaming around, and he knew you too very well." "So what do we do now?" Obinna asked. "There's only one way. You must leave Lagos, go somewhere new. Spirits like that does not follow people far away from where they know." Obinna hung up. He looked at Amara. "We have to leave this city this night." They packed their bag. As they were leaving, their neighbor, an old woman called Mama Esther, called them. "Where are you two going so late?" Obinna forced a smile. "Work transfer, Mama." But Mama Esther's face turned serious. "Be careful. There is something following you." Obinna's smile faded. "How do you know?" Mama Esther pointed at the wall. On it was a long scratch mark that has not been there before, deep like a grave. Obinna did not wait. He grabbed Amara and they left. They boarded a night bus heading to Asaba. But unknown to them, a shadow sat quietly at the back of the bus, its eyes glowing faintly in the dark. As the bus drove into the night, the driver looked at his mirror and saw something he could not explain. A tall black figure sitting beside Obinna and Amara, though no one else could see it. The driver shivered and kept driving. The night bus sped through the quiet highway, heading for Asaba. Most passengers were asleep, their heads laying against the window. The road was dark. The only light coming from the bus was the headlight. Obinna and Amara sat close together, both pretending to be asleep, but their minds were not at rest. Then it happened again. At exactly 2 o'clock a.m., the bus engine caught and slowed down. The driver flamed. "What is this now?" Before anyone could say a word, a cold wind swept through the bus. The windows fogged up. Amara opened her eyes slowly and saw a reflection of her in the glass. But something was wrong. The reflection smiled at her, even though she wasn't smiling. Her heart skipped. She called Obinna. "Woke up, it's here." Obinna opened his eyes. The bus was dead silent now. No sound, no one moving. Then a voice spoke from the back of the bus. "You can run, but you can't hide." All the passenger heads slowly turned to the back seat. Obinna and Amara turned too, and there it was. Onioma, tall dark shadow, its eyes burning like red coals. The other passenger froze. Some tried to shout, but no sound came out from their mouths. The spirit pointed at Amara. "Your soul belongs to me." Obinna stood up. "Leave her alone." But Onioma laughed. You think you can stop me?" Obinna grabbed the small bottle of holy water Dibia Okoro gave them and splashed it towards the spirit. There was a loud hiss. The bus shook. The spirit vanished into the smoke, and the engine suddenly came back to life. The driver blinked, confused like waking up from a dream. The other passengers shook their head as if nothing had happened. Amara and Obinna sat back, breathing heavily. "This thing will not stop chasing us," Amara whispered, tears in her eyes. Obinna held her hand tight. "Then we will keep fighting." They reached Asaba by morning, a small town, calm and peaceful. They rented a room in a small guest house and tried to start a new life. But that night, as they settled to sleep, they found something under the bed. A small pieces of paper. Written on it was, "Welcome to Asaba. I have been waiting." Obinna dropped the paper, his hand cold. Amara's voice shook. "It followed us?" Obinna nodded. "It will never stop." But what they did not know was that Onioma was growing stronger, feeding on their fear, and soon it would no longer hid in shadow. That same night in Asaba, Obinna could not sleep. He sat on the bed, staring at the small paper that read, "I have been waiting." Amara sat beside him, tears in her eyes. "Obinna, I am tired. I can't take this anymore." Obinna held her hand. "We will end it tonight. No running again." Suddenly, the light bulb in the room exploded. The room turned dark. Then a thick black smoke began to rise from the floor. It twisted and turned until Onyoma's top finger appeared in the room. Its red eyes shone bright, and it gave them a wicked smile. "Your soul is mine, Amara." Amara screamed to Obinna. Just then, a knock came on the door. "Come, come, come." Obinna grabbed the holy water bottle and shouted, "Who is there?" The door slowly opened, and it was Dibia Okoro, the native doctor. He looked at the spirit and spat on the ground. "You are brave to follow them here." Onyoma growled, "You can't stop me, old man." But Dibia Okoro raised a small pot of fire and began chanting. The room filled with heat, the spirit string covering its face. Obinna poured the remaining holy water on the spirit. Amara held up a old family necklace Dibia Okoro once gave her, a small charm her great-grandmother has hidden long ago. "By my blood and by my name, I break this curse," Amara shouted. The spirit screamed, its form breaking apart like smoke. The walls shook, the window shattered. Then, with one final cry, Onioma exploded into the cloud as ash and vanished. The room went silent. Dibia Okoro wept sweat from his face. "It's done." Obinna hugged Amara tightly as tears rolled down from her cheeks. "It's over," he whispered. Dibia Okoro smiled. "You are free now, child. No more running." Amara looked at the ash on the floor and felt heavy load left from her heart. For the first time in years, she felt peace. The next morning, the sun shined brightly over Asaba. Birds sang, and the air was fresh. No cold wind, no voice in the dark. Obinna and Amara packed their bags. They walked to the river, threw the ashes into the water, and said a silent prayer. They moved to a new city, far away. No spirit followed them. No shadow looked. Amara opened a small food shop. Obinna worked as a driver. Life was simple and quiet. They never spoke of Onyoma again, but deep down inside, they knew one thing: some family secrets should never be kept. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. It means a lot to me. Thank you.